Have you ever been told that life after 80 can bring surprises you didn't expect? Even the strongest, most independent people find themselves caught off guard at some point. In this video, we're going to explore 5 difficult and rarely discussed truths that tend to appear after you hit 80, shifts that go far beyond physical changes or medical results. These are deeper, more subtle transformations, changes in how people perceive you, in how you start to experience time, and even in the memories that suddenly begin to reveal truths you might never have noticed before. Some of these moments may feel familiar, even if you've never put them into words. Others might be completely new to you. But all of them have one thing in common: they shape how we experience growing older. Stick with us until the end, because even though some of these realities sound tough, understanding them can bring clarity, a sense of purpose, and even a renewed inner strength. There's something powerful about recognizing what you're going through and realizing you're not alone in it. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss any of our videos on health, well-being, and quality of life after 60. If this topic already speaks to you, leave a comment with a number 1. If you have suggestions for new topics, comment with a number 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Let's dive in. Number 1. The shrinking circle of social connection. One of the first things many people notice after 80 is that their world starts to quiet down. You might still get a few phone calls, maybe a visitor here and there, but it's impossible not to notice that these moments happen less often. And more than that, the feeling changes. What used to be a steady rhythm of social interaction now feels more spread out, sometimes even fragile. Friends relocate, fall ill, or pass away. Family members get caught up in their own routines. And without realizing it, you find yourself spending more hours in silence than in conversation. This isn't about bitterness, it's about honesty. After 80, few people talk openly about how hard it can be to keep those connections alive. You notice fewer invitations, longer gaps between visits, and even if you've always been comfortable being on your own, the quiet can start to feel heavier than you expected. It's natural to revisit old memories, not just from nostalgia, but as a way to keep those who mattered present in your life, even if only in thought. A dear friend's laughter, a familiar routine that once felt ordinary, these become treasures now. And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. It's not weakness or traditional loneliness. It's a quiet adjustment that almost everyone faces, but no one warns you about. That's why staying emotionally connected to yourself, your story, and a few close people becomes more vital than ever. When the crowd fades, the depth of a few genuine bonds matters even more. Something else that often catches people off guard after 80 is how small health issues start to become bigger challenges. A cold that used to pass quickly now seems to linger for weeks. A bruise stays around so long you forget where it came from. That little stumble you would have laughed off before can now mean days of rest, physical therapy, or even unexpected surgery. It's not just that your body slows down, it's that its ability to recover becomes less predictable. The margin for error gets smaller. Even something as simple as missing a meal or not drinking enough water can throw your whole system off balance. You may still feel strong many days, and that strength is real, but your resilience no longer works quietly in the background like it once did. What used to be automatic now asks for your attention, your care, your gentleness. And interestingly, no one talks about this much. Friends, family, even health professionals sometimes downplay it, saying, "That's just part of aging." But only you know the real toll each recovery takes. You feel how long it takes for your energy to bounce back. And the challenge isn't just physical, it's emotional too. There's a frustration, that nagging feeling that your own body isn't quite as reliable as it used to be. If you've always taken pride in being independent, strong, and active, this kind of change can feel almost like a betrayal. But here's something important to remember. Awareness is power. When you begin to notice your body's signals, you have the ability to act before small issues turn into bigger ones. You can slow your pace without losing your essence. You can pay closer attention to what truly matters, getting enough rest, staying hydrated, and being patient with yourself. This chapter of life isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about safeguarding the strength you still have and treating it with care. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is give your body full permission to heal. Let's keep going. Number 3. The quiet fading of visibility in social spaces. There's a subtle but powerful shift that many people experience after 80. The sense that your presence begins to fade in a world that's increasingly fast-paced and fixated on youth. It's something few people talk about, but the truth is, you may find that others see your age before they see you. It can feel as if your stories, your thoughts, and all the wisdom you've built up over a lifetime are somehow given less weight, right when they carry the most depth and meaning. You've lived through joys and losses, overcome challenges, and gathered valuable lessons. And yet, there are moments when your presence feels muted, almost invisible. This reality stirs up many feelings: quiet sadness, frustration, and even a kind of discreet mourning. But there's also a deep strength in recognizing what's happening, and understanding that it has nothing to do with your worth as a person. It's a reflection of a society that often overlooks its elders. You are not invisible. The world might not notice you at first glance, but your voice still holds meaning and weight. And those who truly pay attention, the ones who pause to hear your stories, your humor, your insights, are the ones who truly matter. It might take longer for those moments to happen, but they're worth every bit of the wait. That's why it's so important not to retreat. Don't let silence define you. Share your life lessons, the challenges you've conquered, and the wisdom you've gained. Be that quiet, steady presence that reminds everyone of the true meaning of dignity, depth, and resilience. You may no longer be the loudest voice in the room, but you are without question the most seasoned, and that carries immense power, even if not everyone recognizes it immediately. Number 4. The narrowing of daily life. One of the most difficult aspects of aging past 80 isn't just what happens inside your body. It's what slowly disappears in the world around you. The daily rhythm that once included familiar faces and well-loved places starts to thin out, not all at once, but bit by bit. You might notice that you leave the house less often, not because you've lost interest, but because everything feels farther away, more tiring. Friends who once dropped by for coffee move away, fall ill, or pass on. New neighbors arrive. Favorite cafes and shops close down. Your world doesn't vanish overnight, but it quietly contracts over time. And this shrinking brings an emotional weight. At first, it's just a little extra quiet, a subtle emptiness. But gradually, that quiet grows heavier. Even those who have always valued their independence feel a shift when once familiar routines begin to fade. It's important to give that feeling a name, because what you're experiencing isn't weakness, it's grief. It's the natural sadness that comes with watching chapters of your life close. And it doesn't mean you've given up. It means you've cared. Here's an important truth. Even as the old world seems to shrink, a new one can still emerge and grow in unexpected ways. That growth doesn't always come from big trips or grand events. Sometimes it comes from the depth of a meaningful conversation, from a new friendship with someone younger, or from sharing stories you've never told before. The world doesn't need to be vast to feel meaningful. It simply needs to feel alive. So pick up the phone and call that friend, even if they live far away. Join that book club, even if it's online. Take a short stroll, even if it's just around your block. Your world may have changed shape, but it's far from over. It's evolving. And there's still room plenty of room for joy, laughter, and fresh connections. Number 5. The unpredictability of your own body. After 80, your body begins to send mixed signals, and often at the worst times. One day, you wake up feeling clear-headed, full of energy, ready to tackle anything. The next, everything feels slower. Your mind is foggy, your knees don't cooperate, and your hands seem weaker than usual when holding that familiar coffee cup. The hardest part isn't just the physical discomfort. It's the sense of betrayal. You've lived in this body your entire life, trusted it without question, and now it seems to change the rules without warning. You plan a simple outing, and suddenly fatigue hits out of nowhere. You bend down to tie your shoes and realize it's harder to stand back up. Maybe you experience dizziness, stiffness, or strange numbness that vanishes as quickly as it appeared. What no one really mentions is that this unpredictability affects more than just your mobility. It chips away at your confidence. Suddenly, you hesitate before going out, not because you can't, but because you're unsure how your body will behave. That uncertainty can make you feel more cautious, even in situations that once felt routine. And that's completely understandable. But here's a truth that helps. Even if your body isn't as steady as it once was, your response can be. Flexibility becomes your new strength. Adaptability becomes your greatest shield. You learn to prepare better, to honor your pace, and to give yourself space to rest, without giving up on what you enjoy. You start listening more closely to your body's signals, visiting your doctor not just when problems arise, but to stay ahead of potential issues. Because knowledge, even in the face of unpredictability, restores a sense of control and confidence. So yes, it's true that your body might no longer be as predictable as it once was. But you, with your awareness, experience, and wisdom, are still very much in charge. That's the difference. Aging brings new challenges, but it also offers a clarity that only time can provide. We've reached the end of this conversation about 5 tough realities that often surface after 80, each one with its own surprises and its quiet ability to reshape how we experience daily life. We've talked about the shrinking of friendships, the unpredictability of your body, the fading of visibility in social spaces, and the slow narrowing of your daily world. These changes can catch anyone off guard. But here's what matters most. Recognizing these shifts doesn't mean giving in. It means stepping forward with open eyes and choosing to live with greater purpose, wisdom, and grace. Now I'd love to know, which of these 5 realities stood out to you the most? Have you noticed any of them in your own life or in the life of someone close to you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know your biggest takeaway from today's video and how you plan to apply it. Whether it's reconnecting with someone, being gentler with your body, or simply giving yourself permission to rest without guilt, your story might inspire someone else. Because in the end, aging isn't about losing value. It's about gaining depth. And by facing these truths together, we all grow stronger, wiser, and more connected. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end. If you learned something new or felt touched by any part of this, leave a comment sharing what resonated with you and how you plan to put it into practice. Your feedback means the world to us, and reading your stories motivates us to keep creating content that informs and uplifts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep bringing valuable insights so that everyone can navigate this stage of life with more autonomy, dignity, and well-being. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take good care of yourself.